A story is a strange thing. It begins quietly, like a whisper you almost ignore, until that whisper grows claws. That was exactly how Maya's story unfolded. Long before she even understood the danger, she had welcomed into her life with a smile. Maya was a kind young woman, the type who believed in giving people chances even when no one else did. She lived in a small but peaceful neighborhood where everyone knew everyone's business, yet somehow, secrets still found a way to hide in plain sight. Life had always been simple for her. She worked at a nursery school, teaching children how to read and guiding their tiny fingers as they wrote their names for the first time. To Maya, kindness wasn't something she performed. It was simply who she was. And because she was kind, she had a strange habit of attracting people. Good ones, yes, but also dangerous ones who hid behind masks. That was how Leo came into her life. Leo appeared one rainy evening, standing at the entrance of her apartment building with a gentle smile and a dripping umbrella. He greeted her like someone who had known her for years, his voice warm, his eyes soft. He helped her carry a bag of groceries upstairs, even though she didn't ask. He offered her his jacket when a gust of cold wind blew through the hallway. Everything about him seemed thoughtful, harmless, maybe even caring. The neighborhood adored him instantly. He was the man who helped elderly neighbors take out their trash, the man who volunteered at community events, the man who always spoke in a polite, calm tone. Even Maya, who usually took her time to trust people, found herself thinking she had finally met someone whose heart matched his smile. For weeks, Leo appeared everywhere Maya went. In the mornings, he was conveniently outside at the same time as she was leaving for work. In the afternoons, he passed by the nursery to check on the kids, even though he didn't know any of their parents. In the evenings, he showed up with takeaway food, saying he cooked too much and didn't want it to waste. It felt sweet at first. It felt comforting. But slowly, something began to feel off. It started with little things. She noticed how he always knew her schedule, even the days she swapped shifts with a colleague. He finished her sentences too often, answered questions she never asked aloud, and once, he mentioned something about her childhood that she was certain she had never told him. Maybe I'm imagining it, she thought. But the uneasiness only grew. Then one evening, as she walked home from work, an elderly woman from the neighborhood pulled her gently aside. Her voice trembled slightly as she asked, "How well do you know that young man?" Maya laughed lightly and said, "Leo? He's just a kind neighbor." The woman's expression didn't change. "Be careful, my dear. Not every kind face has a kind heart." Maya brushed it off, but deep inside, her heartbeat felt uneven. Later that night, while sorting her laundry, she found something strange tucked into one of her jacket pockets, a small piece of paper. On it were notes about her. The time she slept, the time she went out, the days she stayed late at work. It looked like someone was tracking her routine. She froze, staring at the handwriting. It was neat, sharp, familiar. Leo's handwriting. Her mind spiraled. She remembered the way he always appeared at the perfect moment. The way he always knew exactly what she needed. The smiles that sometimes didn't reach his eyes. She suddenly felt cold, as though the walls around her were shifting. The next day, she avoided him. She didn't answer his calls. She didn't open the door when he knocked, though he stayed there for several minutes, his soft tones slowly shifting into a strange silence. That night, she double-checked the locks before sleeping. At around 2 a.m., she heard it, the sound of someone fiddling with her front door. Slowly, quietly, as if trying not to be heard. Her lungs tightened. She tiptoed to the peephole. She almost screamed. It was Leo. He wasn't smiling now. His face was blank, emotionless, like a mask that had finally fallen off. He tried the handle repeatedly, then paused as if sensing she was standing on the other side. The seconds stretched. Then he whispered, in a voice that no longer sounded human, "Maya, open the door. We need to talk." She stepped back, mouth trembling silently. After a few tense moments, he left. Or at least, she hoped he did. She didn't sleep till dawn. The next morning, she went straight to the local security office. She explained everything she noticed, the paper she found, the late-night attempt to enter her home. They listened carefully and advised her to stay at a friend's place for a few days while they checked into it. She packed a small bag and hurried out, only to find Leo sitting calmly on the stairs of her building. "Where are you rushing to?" he asked with a smile that didn't match his eyes. Her throat tightened. She tried to walk past without answering, but he gently grabbed her wrist. Firm, cold, controlled. "You've been avoiding me," he whispered. "I've done everything for you. Everything." Maya pulled her hand away and said, "Leo, leave me alone." The smile vanished instantly, replaced with a glare that made her skin crawl. "You don't mean that," he said. "You're confused. People always misunderstand me." She stepped back and said, "Don't follow me." She walked away quickly, almost running. He didn't chase her, but she felt his eyes drilling into her back like needles. That evening, the security officers visited several neighbors, asking if they had noticed anything strange. Many nodded, saying Leo often lingered around Maya's door when she wasn't home. One elderly man said he once saw Leo trying to peep into her window. Another neighbor confessed she found Leo going through her mailbox by mistake. Piece by piece, the truth emerged. Leo's kindness had been an act, a disguise. He was the perfect example of a wolf in sheep's clothing, someone who used gentleness as a trap. He had done similar things in another neighborhood before moving here, but nobody knew because he always disappeared before things escalated. This time, he didn't get the chance. After gathering enough reports, security officers invited him for questioning. He didn't resist. He simply smiled and followed them, as though he expected their attention all along. As he walked past Maya's window, he glanced up with a calm, chilling expression, as if to say, "This isn't over." But it was. A restraining order was filed immediately. The community came together, apologizing to Maya for not noticing sooner, for being fooled just like she was. She felt relieved, yet shaken. Trust was no longer something she would give lightly. Weeks passed. Maya went back to work. She smiled again, laughed again, breathed again. But every now and then, when the rain fell quietly and she walked past the place where she first met Leo, she remembered the softness he wore like clothing that hid something dark beneath. She learned something important, that sometimes the most dangerous people don't shout, don't threaten, don't look frightening. Sometimes they look gentle. Sometimes they look helpful. Sometimes they look kind. But their kindness is a costume, a mask, a sheep's clothing, hiding a wolf. And Maya vowed never again to trust a mask without seeing the heart beneath it.